My name is Lauren Pierce, and for most of my life, I believed being a good daughter meant never saying no. My mother, Diane, had a knack for turning every favor into a duty, every sacrifice into a debt I owed her forever. She didn't shout or demand outright. She sighed, guilt-tripped, and painted herself as the victim until I gave in. When I landed my first job, she said I should help with groceries. After my promotion, she suggested I could afford my brother Ethan's college books. When I moved out, she cried about feeling abandoned, hinting I should cover her car payments. I was the responsible one, the fixer, the helper, and she exploited it. My dad, Mark, stayed out of it, mumbling about family duty before retreating to his newspaper. Ethan, the golden child, got praise and freedom, while my role was to support. I questioned it sometimes, like when she called me ungrateful for not buying her a washer or opened a store credit card in my name, claiming it was for emergencies. But I stayed silent, convincing myself speaking up would worsen things, that I owed her. Manipulation doesn't scream. It whispers, making you doubt yourself until you realize you've been robbed in 1,000 small ways, thinking that's what love looks like. When Mom proposed a family vacation to Florida, I felt that familiar dread. She called it a bonding opportunity, sunshine, dinners, beach time. We all need a break, she said. But I knew she meant, you're paying. I wanted to refuse, but I could already hear the guilt trips, the calls to Dad, Ethan, and relatives about how selfish I was. So I agreed, but on my terms, separate flights, separate hotel, no shared reservations, no access to my money. She pouted, whined, said, we're family, why complicate things? I held firm, repeating my terms without apology. Her silence wasn't surrender, it was a setup. A week before the trip, I called my bank, explaining Mom's history of accessing my accounts and using my cards without permission. The rep was understanding and set up location-based transaction locks. Charges outside my location would be denied unless I approved them via my app. I also set my daily spending limit to $1, enough to keep the account active but useless to anyone else. It wasn't paranoia, it was protection. I knew she'd try something. We landed in Florida. The sun high, the air sticky. I hadn't reached baggage claim when I felt her presence. That tight-lipped smile, those calculating eyes. She was ready. Without a word, she snatched my purse from my shoulder. We'll be using your credit card for this trip, she declared loudly, clutching the bag like a trophy, wearing that smug look she always had when she thought she'd won. I didn't flinch. I smiled, calm, not nervous. It unnerved her. I opened my banking app and showed her the screen. Then you'll love this message from the bank. She read it then again. Transaction declined. Unusual location. Limit exceeded. Her face paled, knuckles widening as she gripped my purse.
What did you do? She snapped.
I shrugged. Bank security. They thought it was odd I'd have charges in a city I hadn't arrived in. Fix it, she hissed. I didn't move. This was the moment I'd waited for, the moment I stopped letting guilt control me, stopped excusing her, because she was my mother. Beneath her anger, I saw fear. She wasn't in control anymore, and that terrified her. I took my purse back without a word. She stood stunned, eyes darting, unable to process her loss of power. The next morning, fists pounded my hotel door, desperate, angry. It was Mom, still in yesterday's clothes, face twisted with fury. I cracked the door security chain on. She shoved a crumpled paper through. The front desk says our card was declined.
We can't check in.
Fix it. I glanced at the paper. You didn't prepay? She scoffed. Why would we? We were using her card, obviously. I handed it back. Sounds like your problem. She slammed the doorframe, calling me selfish, ungrateful, saying I'd ruined everything. Her words didn't stick. I felt free and closed the door. She yelled in the hallway, then went quiet. An hour later, a softer knock, hotel security. Miss Pierce, your parents claim you stole their money and left them stranded. I laughed. They have proof. He hesitated. No, then they're lying. I booked and paid for my room. They tried to use me, and now they're facing the consequences. The manager stepped forward, no nonsense. I checked the system. You paid in full. They didn't. If they can't pay, they leave. And they were gone. I thought it was over, but that night at the hotel bar, my phone buzzed. Attempted login from unrecognized device. Password reset requested. I sprinted to my room, locked the door, and fortified my account. New password, two-factor authentication, fraud alert. I texted her. Nice try. Enjoy your trip. No reply. The next morning, Dad called. She says you locked her out of the bank. I smiled. I locked myself in. She was trying to break in. He sighed, knowing I was done. Then Ethan called, the golden child who'd never faced Mom's guilt trips. His voice was quiet. Did Mom ever take money from you without asking? I sat up.
Yes. Why?
He paused. She took a lot from me, too. 4 months. Said it was for bills, promised to pay me back. She never did. We realized she'd drained his account before the trip, which was why she targeted mine next. I thought she only did that to you, he said. She did, I replied, until you became useful. It was harsh, but true. Ethan's confusion turned to anger. He wasn't like me, he wouldn't stay quiet. We didn't confront her immediately. We let her think she'd gotten away with it, giving her silence while we planned. Her texts came, dramatic, self-pitying. I don't deserve this. I'm your mother. You're abandoning us. Then, I told the bank you made a mistake. They'll fix it. I laughed. She didn't know I'd already alerted the fraud department, flagging her attempts. Ethan dug deeper, uncovering her financial mess. Maxed out cards, overdue loans, missed payments. She wasn't stealing for a vacation. She was stealing to survive, willing to sacrifice us. We set a trap. Ethan called her, speaker on. Mom, a lot of money's missing from my account. She played innocent. Oh, honey, are you sure you didn't spend it? He pressed. I think someone stole it. She offered fake sympathy. I'll help you figure it out. Then he dropped the bomb. The bank's investigating. They're tracking where the money went. Silence. Her tone shifted. You didn't have to do that. Why not? Ethan asked calmly. If it's a mistake, they'll fix it, right? More silence then. You ungrateful brat. We had her. We went to the hotel manager with screenshots, transfer records, and the call recording. She was furious, not at us, but at Mom, who'd been a nightmare guest, demanding upgrades and special treatment. She called security. We watched from a distance as they found her by the pool, sipping an unaffordable drink. Ma'am, come with us. She laughed, then saw Ethan. Her face fell. She screamed, cursed, faked a fainting spell. But when the manager said, "We've called the police," she tried to run. Security stopped her. Ethan said, "You did this to yourself." She was escorted off, banned from the hotel. Dad booked a separate flight home, leaving her with no money, no place to stay, no one to manipulate. I didn't feel sorry. This wasn't revenge, it was accountability.